It's the Art of the Kickstart, episode 21.
Welcome to the artofthekickstart.com, where entrepreneurs are constantly pushing the envelope to build businesses of greatness. Inventors are innovating and creating the products of the future, and backers stand strong for what they believe. These are some of the great thinkers, inventors, and leaders of our time. Here are their stories.
Hey guys, welcome to Art of the Kickstart. Today I'm extremely excited to have Richard Rhett, the founder of Youve and Sierra Madre Research, on the line today to discuss how his company is transforming outdoors living and exploration. Thanks so much for coming today, Richard.
Yeah, thanks, Matt, for having us on.
So, Richard, I love what you guys are doing, but before we get into that, let's go success quote. What do you live by? What's something that others can learn from? Awesome quotes. I love them.
One of my, favorite sayings would be to don't just talk about changing the world, but to get out and do it. That's something that I live by. It's very easy to talk a lot about what you want to do, but in the reality, what you do is what actually matters. That's pretty much what I live by.
Walking the walk. I like it. And speaking of which, so when someone checks out your campaign, they can see instantly two things. A, you're an awesome outdoorsy guy, and B, you seem to give a shit. You want to help the world. Can you go through the social entrepreneur aspect of what you guys are doing? I think that's really important to share.
That's right, yeah. Well, we've got two things going on. We've got a manufacturing company that I started in 2011. We started SMR Illuminate so that we could basically provide an economic, sustainable boost for some families that we had been working with that had been basically trained in the skill of sewing, and we wanted to provide jobs for those people. You know, protecting the name of our company because people are important, because that's kind of what we're about. Where the products are made and how they're made is very important, and the people that make them is very important. Also, the quality. The benefit of owning your own manufacturing company is that you control the quality that goes into it. You control the materials that go into it. And you can really develop and shape a product that's just outstanding, that's excellent, rather than having to give and take and kind of adapt to a contract manufacturer's requests. So there's a couple little benefits there. And then the other aspect of our company is drilling clean water wells in Central America, focusing on Honduras right now. And that's something that we're passionate about because clean water is a building block to any economy that you might find. If you don't have clean water, you can't really move forward in life. You're going to be constantly concerned about where you're getting that, and that will take up a lot of your time.
So this is part of the reason I wanted to get you on, Richard. This is a really motivational story. It's the perfect hybrid of capitalism and socialism, helping people and building epic businesses around doing it. Is that how you've always been? Has that always been your dream to create something along that?
I would say that's kind of been deep inside me for a while. I've always been kind of a designer, an inventor, but that didn't really come to fruition until about 2009 when I went on my first trip down to Honduras and actually witnessed and saw the devastation that the lack of clean water has in an area. And I was with an NGO, a nonprofit organization, and they were making great strides towards developing and helping people. But I guess I felt like the business approach to that would be different and more beneficial, because I heard a TED Talk, and to quote them recently was, when you put profit into it, people get a little more concerned about things, and there's a lot less waste. So that was important to me. I mean, putting those two passions together, developing and creating and forming a business around that does something with the profit that is good and beneficial to mankind is important, and it's been shaping us since we started.
And that's so cool. But at the same time, this is also an inventor, an entrepreneur interview. You have an awesome business. Can you take us through the story of New Bay and how you really created or thought up the product?
Sure, yeah. Well, it all began on that trip in Honduras. And on that trip, I was sleeping in a hammock and was very dissatisfied with it and decided to come back and buy a sewing machine and start making a better hammock. Of course, once I finally made a hammock that I enjoyed, I then had to protect it. I needed some rain protection. I needed insect protection. Wanted a place after insect protection to put my gear. So having a nice expensive pack and then going out and throwing it in the dirt while you're backpacking was not what I was about and not what I wanted to do. So I began to develop the New Bay in 2010. And I actually had some prototypes that I took down with me on my next journey to Honduras, where we were in a remote area in the rainy season, and we got to do a lot of field testing there. And from the response that I had from 3 individuals that, lived and breathed remote camping and having to depend on their gear, they were really impressed. And that kind of just led to more and more development, and then we finally were able to patent it and keep moving forward until Kickstarter came.
It's such a crazy design. Anyone that checks out New Bay is instantly like enraptured by it. It was so exciting when I saw it. But you're scratching your own itch doing this. You're basically building it on the side for yourself. How do you justify taking that much time just to create something for yourself? And when is it ready to sell?
Well, we've been selling the heck out of them, honestly. It was an itch that I was satisfied with, but the goal in the beginning was always to take it to the consumer. The goal when I started the company was always to build an outdoor company around high quality gear that was about advocating change in the world that we lived in. And that was my passion. That was what I wanted to do. It took a long time for me. It took a long time to kind of get to the point where we were ready to say, step up, and to quote Seth Godin, this is what I did. This is what I produced. We actually started that in 2013 with our hammocks, and then mid 2013 we launched the New Bay on Kickstarter.
How do you know when it is ready? Let's go right back to that.
Yeah, that's always the question. You kind of just have to make it what you want it to be, and when you're content, when you're happy with it, and you feel like you've put the effort into what your product deserves, and just bang your head against the wall more, and then you do it. You put it out there and you see what the response is, and there's nothing that says that you can't continue to adapt, continue to change slightly as time goes on, but you've got to put it in front of people, and you've got to get a response. And that's what it takes is stepping up and doing it.
So you decide after all of this development time, you've created something amazing. You're going to throw it on Kickstarter. Why Kickstarter? Why crowdfunding to get the New Bay launched?
Yeah, we're a small company. I'm 100% owner. I don't have any investors. Didn't want to go into debt. And my wife and I were talking through the ideas and trying to figure out, how can we get some publicity? How can we tell the world about this product, and then also be able to afford the amount of inventory that we really need to be able to start this? Because to start this alone was going to cost us about $35,000, and I'd already basically drained what I had trying to start 2 businesses at the same time. So the funding, the publicity, that was really what this was about, and it really helped a lot after the first day when we had made 3/4 of our goal.
Yeah, you guys skyrocketed. What did you do in terms of PreLaunch Press to get it out there to people, to let them see this cool new thing you made? Yeah,
well, 2013, we spent quite a few weekends going to trade shows in our area, kind of in the southeast. We had a prototype New Bay that we set up at these trade shows, and everybody that we talked to, we told them, hey, we're launching this on Kickstarter August 7th. You'll be able to be one of the first people to purchase this, And at the trade shows, we got a really good response because of that. And I feel like that helped. I feel like we had been building a kind of a social media following, although very small. We had some really, really avid supporters from our hammocks. They were really happy with them, and they were really looking forward to something else from Sierra Madre. And that, and then friends and family, big supporters, and they spread the word. They were talking to anybody that would listen, basically. And then we just did it, and we kind of trusted and just waited to see what would happen. And it was pretty cool to see people backing it that we had no idea who they were within the first 30 minutes of launching it. So
that's freaking amazing. Just that when you make that money online, it's nuts. And you guys were making tons. Your campaign was destroying Kickstarter. What happens though after? What happens when it's over? When it's time to fulfill? What kind of issues do you guys have? Because everybody does. Once you do it, it's just you're not ready.
Oh yeah, I mean, we were definitely on a high coming into the final stretch. We were like, wow, we did a great job with this. This is incredible, and we were very thankful for the encouragement that we had from people. But then the rubber meets the road, and you've got to make 500 products and about to start manufacturing a new product in a developing country, and there's a lot of logistical issues and problems that we had to face with getting materials in, and training was a big deal. So what Julie and I did, we basically took about 2 weeks to prepare and kind of get all of our ducks in a row, and then we moved to Nicaragua in October of 2013 so that we could kind of oversee the growth, because we were going from about 7 employees to about 35 employees in a very short time there in Nicaragua. And that was going to take a lot of training, a lot of work. And we had to move twice. We've gone through a lot of steps to kind of get feet under the ground to be able to produce the kind of volume that we needed for filling the Kickstarter orders. It was an overwhelming task ahead of us. We weren't quite ready, but I guess you never are.
When you're doing something revolutionary like that, there's those times where it's like a panic attack. You don't know what's coming next. You and your wife are moving to Nicaragua. You have all of these orders to fulfill. Entrepreneurs get scared. People got to be real. What kind of issues were going through your head as you're moving down there? What were you thinking?
Oh, there was a lot going on through my head. I was definitely worried about trying to grow as fast as we needed to. I was worried about sustaining that growth. What happens when we've ramped up to this level of production, and then if sales fall off, or if the consumer doesn't enjoy the product at the end as much as they thought they would, and what happens if we have serious issues with the Nicaraguan government and trying to get our materials in. And there were a lot of things going through my mind, and really I go back to the faith that I have. I mean, Christ has been the center of all this. I follow him and his teachings, and he's been the center of my stability, and knowing that this is what he has called me to do. This is kind of my mission, if you will. And my wife being right next to me was, even though we were in the first 4 months of our marriage, she was very encouraging the whole way through, and she continued to help us push through those hard times when the government did shut down and take our materials and hold them for 3 months, and serious issues with employees and management and so forth. So there were troubled times, there's no doubt, and fortunately we were able to persevere and make it through them.
Good news is if you made it through that in the first 4 months, I think your marriage will go pretty smoothly from here on out.
That's right.
So with this is a huge challenge to tackle, a huge whatever to bite off. Right. Why not, when you have something like this, you've got something revolutionary, why not patent this and license it out to Patagonia or other environmentally responsible outdoors companies?
Yeah, And I do admire what people like Patagonia are doing. I'm actually reading one of Chenard's books on the responsible company. But, our goal, as I said, is to be a competitor. We're not trying to make money here. We want to make good gear, and we want to do something good with the money that we make. We want people to go out and enjoy the world in a better way. I plan to continue to invent and to continue to push the limits of outdoor gear, the quality of it, and what customers should expect out of their gear. And that's never really been an option. That's never really been a thought for me to sell out or to take on investors. We've built it this far, and this is kind of what we want to do for the rest of our lives. We want to get behind this, and we want to kind of put our lives into it, and it means something at the end, and possibly be something to hand off, to my kids or something of that nature. But that's our goal is long-term competitor in the outdoor industry.
Absolutely love it. Such a cool mission. I want to jump now into the launch round. Sound good, Richard?
Yeah, sure.
Hey guys, instead of a boring old advertisement for some company today, let's just say we're looking for 2 more innovators to jump into our experimental free mastermind group. If you're interested in an hour and a half on the line with 5 or 6 other great inventors to learn from them about their business, their Kickstarter campaigns, and what they're doing now that can help you in your business, hit me up at matt@artofthekickstart.com. Shoot me an email and we'll try to get this going. It's going to be free and it's going to be awesome. Welcome to the Launch Round, where we take our guests through a series of rapid-fire questions geared towards unlocking the inner inventor and entrepreneur in all of us. Get ready to blast off and unlock your inner potential. Let's do this.
So, Richard, what does it mean to be a creator?
A creator, for me, is to take a problem and to solve it. To take what you've seen around you in the world and to come up with a way to answer that problem in a better way that's been done before.
Richard, you're an outdoorsy kind of guy, and I like that. Where is the most challenging place you've ever been to?
My wife and I were not married at the time, but we decided we were going to climb a large peak out in Colorado, 14er, and we decided that we were going to ice climb the first 2 pitches instead of hiking. We were going to climb up the waterfall on that mountain. And that proved to be a pretty taxing adventure. We had bad weather. It was very cold that day. We had snow coming through. We did actually make it up both pitches. Julie took a pretty crazy fall when some of the waterfall gave way, and I'd already led, and I was belaying her at the top, but it was definitely eye-opening, and we didn't quite make it to the top of the mountain that day, but we did conquer the waterfall that day, and that was enjoyable, but it was taxing and I guess kind of a rush.
Yeah, it just opens you up. You realize you've only got one chance in this world.
That's right.
So speaking of which, where is somewhere you would love to go you've never gone before? What's your ideal vacation or mission?
One day we're going to get to take a vacation. One day. Gosh, Julie and I both are very passionate about traveling, and traveling is something we want to do when the company and time allows.
Oh, that's procrastinating, man. You got to do it now or you're never going to.
I know. Right. Well, we're preparing. I think we're going to be more about long-term trips than short-term vacations. Trying to position ourselves so that we could take a month or 2 off and drive motorcycles through South America or cross Asia through Africa. Those are the kind of things that we're looking for. Kind of trying to experience culture in a more kind of transparent, open way that's there, and getting to see, some of the most amazing things that are on this beautifully created earth, especially down, obviously Patagonia's on one of the tops of our list, going down through Bolivia into Chile and Argentina to get to see the Andes and experience them. Alaska's a huge part of my wife's heart. She loves that place, and getting to experience some of the mountains up there and getting to climb through those be on the top of our soon-to-do list.
Gonna have to hold you to that. And it's such a great mission, such a great life you're living. It's going to be amazing. And I think business books are huge in the lives of entrepreneurs, inventors, people. There's always problems that you're going to have. Other people have always encountered them. What have been 3 books that have been super influential on you and transforming your life?
You might not get the answers you're looking for here, Matt.
Oh, I'm not looking for anything. I'm just fishing.
Oh yeah, I'm not much of a reader. I do read. I'd say the Bible is my first staple in the way I do my life in general, and kind of the way I'm trying to understand how to build a business around treating people as more importantly than me. Standpoint of, understanding business, I think history teaches us a lot. One of the books that I'm reading and really enjoying is called The Reckoning, and it's about the Industrial Revolution, if you will, for Japan, and how manufacturing started and blossomed and boomed there, and kind of the quality and lean manufacturing that they went through to become kind of one of the major automakers in the world. That book has been very eye-opening to me. And reading through books like The Toyota Way and Lean Sigma and just manufacturing focused books, because of the trials that we're facing with our manufacturing company, has kind of been the center of what I've read. I do a lot of podcasts. We travel a lot.
Ooh, what podcasts do you like? I love podcasts.
We do a lot of business TED Talk. Has been very, very interesting and helpful. Harvard Business School does some really good podcasts. Seth Godin had a great series on startups and what an entrepreneur faces. Several other. We listen to Money Talks from NPR and different things like that. But those kind of help pass the time when you're driving across the country selling hammocks.
I like it. And let's jump back into Nube, back into Sierra Madre. So this question, it's going to be a little weird, but if you had to go back today and relaunch the Nube campaign, what would you do differently? Also, I feel like if you launched the campaign today, you guys would probably easily crush 1 million, because you've got a pretty good campaign. You've got a great product, and Kickstarter just keeps ramping up.
Right on. Gosh, what would we do different? I feel like my expectations for shipping I would have conveyed that a little differently. I had hopes of what we would be able to do, but they weren't as realistic as they should have been. And fortunately, we have great backers that have been very understanding with the process, and we were able to take them on a really cool journey in the development of the product and actually the manufacturing of it. But I think conveying a little more accurate shipping date to them and being able to tell them that date a little more would have been nice from my standpoint. I think all in all, I was actually really, really satisfied with it. I think we learned a lot. Julie and I really gained a lot of perspective in what it takes and the work that it takes and the videography that it takes and the pictures and what people want to see visually to experience your product over the internet, and to understand why it's beneficial and to understand why it is something you need. It's something that will solve the problems of you getting wet and being miserable on a camping trip. And I think on our next one, we'll be able to accomplish hopefully a little bit more.
On your next one, want to give us a preview? Anything coming up in the pipeline?
I can't say a word, man.
Oh, no worries. It's okay.
All hush right now.
Last question, Richard. You've been such an awesome guest. I love what you guys are doing. You have such a cool story, and I love the mission. If you could give one piece of advice to inventors, entrepreneurs, people that want to change the world and create something amazing, what would you tell them?
Oh, man. Get up early, stay up late, work your day job as long as you possibly can, and continue to push yourself to the limits that you don't think are possible, and then push a little bit more. Stay out of debt, and just don't compromise. Never compromise.
Gosh, no one wants to hear that, but we all have to, because those are just the issues that everybody has. Give yourself a plug, Richard. Share where people can find you, where they can check out the New Bay, what you guys are doing, and why they should buy your product.
Sure. You can check us out at sierramadreresearch.com. That's our website. You can find us on any social media at SMR/gear. And yeah, the New Bay is a product that has revolutionized the hammock camping industry. It's taken the problems of rain and bugs and where you store your equipment and solve those. It's made it possible to go out and enjoy hammock camping like you're being protected by a tent, but you're sleeping in the air. It's really making it something that anybody can. Our goal is to bring adventure into normal people's lives and experience the world around them. That's absolutely beautiful.
The world is your playground. Use New Bay to just go explore it, guys. It looks awesome. It's fun. Thank you so much for coming today, Richard. You've been such a great guest.
Hey, Matt. Thanks a lot for the opportunity. We really appreciate it.
Keep selling, man. Keep selling.
All right. Sounds good. See ya.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Art of the Kickstart, where we believe makers, inventors, and entrepreneurs are changing the world and bringing humanity forward into the future. I'm your host, Matt Ward, and it's been a pleasure guiding you through this journey of creation and innovation. I hope you're inspired by this and check out artofthekickstart.com to get more information and tactics to help you launch your own business, product, and dreams.